this is Kevin for Pixavert.com. In this video I'm going to be covering the all-important issue of sharpening. I'm going to be focusing mainly on using the high-pass filter to sharpen. And before I started making the video, it occurred to me that for someone who's fairly new to Photoshop, they might wonder why it is no one ever seems to cover the issue of using the sharpening tool. Well, I never use it because I think there are better tools in Photoshop, but let me cover the Photoshop Sharpen tool. Now, if I were to use it frequently, I would choose the luminosity mode, which I think is the best for this kind of tool. I would also choose protect detail if it's available in your version of Photoshop. And what I like about this image and what I want to sharpen is the hair. And this is where the tool has its advantage, because I could just basically paint over the hair to sharpen it. I've already done that, and as you can see there, that's the result. Now, I'm not going to actually try to show you how to use it in this video because it actually freezes my computer whenever I try to use it. It's that slow. And if I show you another problem, let me just bring up the navigator, and I'm just going to zoom in to an area where it has been sharpened. And as you can see there, there is quite a lot of detail there that seems a bit messy. And that's everywhere wherever it has been sharpened. If I bring back the original image, to my mind, that almost looks better. In fact, it definitely does look better to my eyes. And that's the reason I really do not like using the Sharpen tool. However, if you look at it from a certain distance, it, more or less does the job. So I don't know, it's up to you whether or not you use it. I don't think I'm going to use that layer again, so I'm going to delete it. And we'll now move on to the high pass filter. We're going to start off by duplicating the layer, and then we can go to the filter menu and choose high pass filter, which is in the other section. Now, it's not very user friendly when it comes to previewing. Just click anywhere in the image and that will deliver that particular portion of the image into the preview box, which is usually at 100%. And it's very difficult to figure out what the precise radius should be, but that will often depend on the resolution of the image. Generally, the higher the resolution, the higher the radius should be. There isn't a one-to-one relationship between the radius and the amount of sharpening. It's very much a judgment call. But the best tribute that I can give to the high pass filter is that even though it's got this really lousy preview and you have to actually put it on overlay mode to actually preview it properly, it is my favorite sharpening tool. And you can see there the effect that it's had. It's not profound, as you can tell, but there is definitely some sharpening there, and that subtlety is actually perhaps its greatest quality. Now, you can make it even more subtle by changing it to soft light mode, or you can make it harder by changing it to hard light mode. However, the default mode is really the overlay mode. One thing that I would want to do, and which is a bit of an inconvenience, is to desaturate the layer, because most people don't realize it actually contains some color. So if you go to Image Adjustments and choose Desaturate, that gets rid of color, and you won't notice any change until that one time when you realize that there is actually something wrong with the colors before you desaturate it. Now, because of the way the overlay mode works, it's very easy to increase the power of the sharpening by just duplicating the high pass filter layer. And as you can see in this image, it's increased the sharpness, but definitely gone a bit too far, bringing some sort of details into the face which I would rather weren't there. And also in the background, we can see that there is more noise in the image than there was before. Now, I had actually noticed that noise before, and it was something I was actually quite okay with because it actually integrates into the picture fairly well. But after sharpening, it stands out a bit too much. So what I would want to do is to look at a couple of ways of dealing with excessive sharpening in areas where you don't want it, either because you get too much detail or too much noise. But that's something which I'm going to cover in future videos. One is a very simple technique that everyone should know, and the other one is a slightly more advanced one for more advanced users. Now, if you're interested in those, subscribe so you can be alerted when the videos come through. And that's it for now. Hope you found that useful. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.